For all you wackadoos that are crying and moaning about TCU heaving a half-court shot to bust up your wager, you can't name 2 kids on TCU. So slow your roll about it. Oh, it's unfair. I can't believe they did that. Stop it. Couldn't even name anybody on Gonzaga either, for that matter. Plus, it does seem like we're on the precipice right now of, and I get no joy out of saying this, but it's a reality, and sometimes you got to own reality. It appears that this is going to be a very, very long season for the New York Mets. Good afternoon, Evan. How are you today, kid?
What?
Yep, they got the injury bug, Ev.
What?
You're
trying to rain on my parade 10 days before opening day?
I know Brandon Nimmo's going to put it's not serious, thank God, because, I love Nimmo. He's my favorite Met, as you know.
Yeah.
But, man, it is not looking.
The reason I'm not, apoplectic about the Nimmo thing is Friday night, I thought he was done. Friday night, I thought his knee was gone. I thought we were never going to see him play for the Mets in 2023. So the fact that he's day-to-day, the fact that he should be ready early in the season, if not on opening day.
Early in the season?
Yeah. On Friday night, I would have.
What's he doing?
On Friday night, I would have signed for he's back by June 1st. That's how desperate I was.
I mean, listen, I didn't think it looked that bad. I know.
Are you crazy?
It didn't look that bad to me.
It looked like he tore his knee up.
It looked like an uncoordinated kid on the playground in Eastchester. It didn't look that bad to me. Last name Hoffman. But besides that, I have to tell you, it seems like we're going down this road where the New York Mets and maybe the Yankees too, for that matter, it's just going to be an injury-riddled year. And I got to tell you, if you go through year 3, and again, whether it's injuries, whatever the excuse is, and the New York Mets don't take another step forward, I don't know what you guys are going to do.
Well, what do you want us to do?
I don't know what you're going to do.
You want us to turn on Steve Cohen? I can't turn on Steve Cohen. As a season ticket holder, Steve Cohen sent me a very nice season ticket gift that I opened up yesterday.
What'd you get? Something better than last year?
I think it was.
What was it?
Last year they gave you a box. You open up the box, and it was this video highlighting the history of the Mets. Cool and all, but once I watch it a few times, it goes away.
Yeah.
This time he gave me like this tidbit. Excuse
me?
A tidbit.
No, not a tidbit. Evan.
A tidbit.
Tid.
Yeah, tidbit.
T-I-D.
That's what I said.
Yeah, not the other thing.
T-I-D-B-Y-T.
And
it's like this.
It sounded like you said something else.
Well, I think you got a dirty mind.
No, you said what you said.
I said a tidbit.
Yeah, you said it again. You got to slow your roll.
But it's like a mini scoreboard that you could set up to give you the weather, give you Met scores, give you tournament scores. And I looked it up to see how much this thing was worth.
Why would you look it up?
Because I wanted to see.
Oh, that means that every gift anyone ever gets you look it up.
No, that's not true. This gift I looked up, it came from the Mets. I wanted to see how much they're spending on us. I know how much I'm spending on them.
So how much was the gift?
Like $150.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you gave them a couple dollars more. So my gut is that they can afford to buy a gift, which probably got wholesale because they bought 13,000 of them.
Craig, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's the kind of the emotion of it. It's the fact they think enough of us to say, it's okay Brandon Nimmo may miss the first few weeks of the season.
Why would he miss the first few weeks?
Because he's got a sprain of his ankle and his knee.
Is it true? I heard a story about Brandon Nimmo. Matter of fact, I think I heard you and Joe talking about it.
What's that?
Were you guys talking about it, that Nimmo purposely didn't really play in a lot of games early?
So you know what this means?
This spring?
You know what this means? Craig's embarrassed. It's okay. Craig downloaded Rico Bronya.
No.
And he was listening.
No. You said it on Saturday.
Oh, did I?
Yeah, I was listening to you and Joe on Saturday. Wow. Or someone, maybe it was Susan and John. I don't know who it was.
It was not Susan and John.
Who, I guess because of last year, he felt like, because of the delay or because of the lockout, holdout, whatever it was, that he purposely said, let's push everything back 2 weeks from me this year.
Yeah, he's also doing less in between games. He's kind of giving himself less of a workload with the thought being this will keep him healthy. And it's just a reminder, whether it's an international tournament or it's meaningless games in Port St. Lucie, Florida, you can get hurt no matter what. I almost pulled a muscle playing pickleball today. Yeah. It happens.
Oh, boy.
It happens.
Don't be that guy. There's always that guy, no matter what you talk about in pro sports. It's like someone tore an ACL. Someone's got a bad thigh, whatever it is. Because there's that guy that calls up Sports Talk Radio. You know, fellas, last year in my Sunday morning at over 50 softball league, I did that. He's back in 2 weeks.
Yes.
Like, come on, man.
Yes.
You're not a pro athlete.
This is the first time I ever did it, so let me enjoy it. So
Yeah.
I think I sprained my ankle awkwardly, kind of like Brandon Nimmo. We call that sympathy pains while I was playing pickleball. True story.
Yeah, well, listen, what if you're a diehard Met fan? Now, the season opens, I think it's 11 days from today. So you got a week and a half, right? Down in Florida against the Marlins.
Yep.
Yankees, of course, open against the Giants earlier in the afternoon. But it's 11 days away. And I thought today might be a good day, get a little gauge of where the fan bases are at. I think Met fans are probably concerned, rightfully so.
Well, the closer's out for the year. Start
Closer's
right
out.
there.
Quintana's out. Who's even pitching game 2 this year? My gut would be it's Carlos Carrasco, but that's just my,
I think it's going to be
my
Justin.
educated guess.
I think it's going to be Justin Verlander.
Well, it's funny because Saturday you said Carrasco.
Yeah,
so
the
now you're
reason
giving different answers on different days.
The reason my answer
You're that
changed.
guy. I know a lot of guys
No,
like
no,
you.
no.
Who on one show they pick one side of the game, and on the other show they pick the other side, and that way they're always right.
Yeah, I know you've tried that. No, it changed because Buck Showalter changed on Sunday. Yesterday, he said that it looks like they're going to use a 6-man rotation to start the season. And if they do that, to have Verlander start the home opener at Citi Field, Verlander would have to pitch day 2. So you are right. Good listening by you. I've changed what I've said, but I've changed it based on what Buck Showalter's doing.
Yeah, so listen, I do want to kind of get a sense of where you're at in diehard Met fans, Yankee fans also. Yankees are just cruising right along in the spring, no problems at all, other than the fact that
I don't know if I'd say that.
They seemed destined to start players that Yankee fans hate. Donaldson's got, 3 hits this spring? Yeah, put him at third base, no problem. Aaron Hicks has let 9 balls drop into fair territory. Start him in left, no problem. Anthony Volpe's clearly earned the starting shortstop job. We're not quite sure. Dominguez clearly earned a spot on the roster. Well, he's not going to play here yet. I mean, it's mind-boggling sometimes. What seems obvious to us doesn't seem all that obvious to the decision makers. So we'll get your take on all that. 877-337-6666. And there's one other question I have for you. I just want to get a sense. I know your answer, but I'm going to ask you the question anyway.
How do you know my answer?
Well, because I know you. Now, I'm asking this question really more for the audience to answer than you. Because you are going to give me what I believe is a predictable answer because I know your opinion and we've not discussed it today.
How do you know my opinion if we haven't discussed it?
Because 2.5 years, dude.
You really think I'm that predictable?
Yes.
All right, let's see.
Yes. It's all quiet on the Western Front. Not a single sound. No sounds here in New York. Nothing to hear in Wisconsin.
Oh, yeah.
Day after day, the sun rises, the sun sets.
He's going to nail it.
And a whole bunch of nothing. Eerily quiet it is in the NFL in regards to the pending deal between the Green Bay Packers and the New York Jets. No rumors, no quotes, nobody on the record saying anything for either side, just dead quiet. And as a diehard Jet fan, recognizing that you still got the draft a month away. You still got that important June 1st date, which really this is not going to get done prior to for obvious financial reasons. But dead quiet. And I wonder, as a diehard Jet fan, does the quiet bother you? And Evan's answer is, no, it does not. It's happening. I know it's happening.
Let me quote a wise man that you may have heard of.
Yeah.
He once told a fan base, RELAX.
Was that right?
Relax. This deal's going to get done. And you may be wrong. I've done some research on the cap.
Yeah.
And making a trade prior to June 1st and making a trade after June 1st. It's just how Green Bay wants to split up the cap hit they're going to take on Aaron Rodgers. And I think they value getting back picks from this draft.
They should.
More than waiting next year. So I have a confidence that at some point in the next month, I'll say the next 2-3 weeks, a deal's going to get done.
Is that right?
The Jets are going to get Aaron Rodgers. Green Bay is going to get some draft capital back. I hope. Here's my fear, though. Can I tell you my fear? My fear is Woody Johnson. My fear is that Woody Johnson is going to get nervous. And Woody Johnson isn't going to be the great businessman he can be. And he's going to pressure Joe Douglas to just get something done. While Joe could say to Woody, relax, we got this. We're going to get Aaron Rodgers. So my one worry, and this would mean you end up being right, which is another worry I have, is that the Jets give up something they don't have to give up because the owner
panics,
gets a tad bit nervous.
Okay.
And that's the only thing, Craig, that makes me a tad bit nervous.
Yeah, listen, I think it's more on Green Bay that's going to wait till after June 1st than the Jets. I think, of course, the Jets would do the deal right now. I don't think Green Bay wants to do the deal now for two reasons. One, legitimate, one, ego. And the legitimate one is, more of the cap, which I don't get too in the weeds on it. The other one's about ego. About, you said what you said about me publicly. I'll stand by this till I'm proven different. And now we're going to take our time. We're in no rush. We know that Jordan Love's our starting quarterback. We are going to trade you. But you know what? We're going to do it on our timetable.
But you know what's funny? Outside of the stress of, as days go by and this not happening, getting nervous, I prefer this gets done after the draft. I want the Jets to have every one of their draft picks. I want them to
for
be
this
able
year's
to,
draft specifically because they're better picks.
Yes. Yeah. So if we're talking selfishly, as long as everybody can relax, take a deep breath, and understand that Aaron Rodgers will be a Jet eventually, am I wrong to say they're better off in waiting? They're better off in standing firm because I would love to have every draft pick available to improve this roster for the Aaron Rodgers-led Jets.
Well, it's going to come down to who blinks first, I suppose. But we'll say this: it's eerily quiet. Shh. No news, no noise, nothing. Look how happy Big Mac is right now, trolling you guys online yesterday via text message to the whole group.
Anybody.
No.
Yeah.
He did troll.
I
He
got
did
such
troll.
a bad rap.
You are
I do nothing.
troller.
Well,
I do nothing but try and help
Let me
you guys
explain
and
to
be
the
good
audience,
friends.
and they can decide if Big Mac's a troller or not. So when Edwin Diaz was diagnosed with the patella issue, he ran into my office huffing and puffing to tell me, I've got good news. The injury to Diaz isn't that bad. Meanwhile, the patella injury effectively ends his season. So there's your background, right? On Friday night, when Nimmo has his awkward slide, and I probably over-exaggerated. I'll raise my hand and admit that. I thought the injury was going to be catastrophic. Big Mac texts me and Loogie and says, I don't think it's going to be too bad.
Not that big a deal.
That sounds like a callback to your F-up regarding Edwin Diaz.
Well, later in the show, we're going to give Big Mac a chance to answer to that a little bit later on in the show. We got lots to do today. 877-337-6666. Jimmy's in Manahawkin on the Fan. Jimmy, how are you, buddy?
Not a creature was stirring, not even a house mouse. Gentlemen, first of all, guys, I'm a big Met fan, and the first thing is with Al Dukes. If you gave Boomer
Hold on, time out. No, we're not doing that. Yeah, out of the gate, the first thing you want to talk to us about is Albert Anthony Dukes? Like, what are we doing? And Boomer? How's that the first call out of the gate? And why would I ever want to take that call?
Well, first of all,
Yep.
if you gave Boomer truth serum, he would say he'd want Al Dukes to marry his daughter. All right, now skip that.
His daughter's
Let's go right
married
to
to
the meat
a
and potatoes.
wonderful young man. And I can let me tell you something else, because I happen to know both guys intimately well. That couldn't be further from the truth. Why would Boomer want his 27-year-old daughter to be with a 50-year-old curmudgeon like Al Dukes, who I love to death? Does that make any sense to you?
Because you can trust Al Dukes. That's why.
You
Al
can
Dukes
trust
is a
him, but do you
refined
think
man.
Boomer wants to be financially responsible for his son-in-law for the next 40 years?
Listen, Al Dukes.
Think about it. Would you rather your son-in-law make 7 figures as a pro athlete or make $52 an hour here at WFAN? Think about it. And Matt Martin's a great kid. That's nonsensical. Oh, my Lord. I want to vomit in my mouth.
Even Al Dukes would admit it's nonsensical.
And I guarantee if you asked Sydney Martin, she'd want to vomit in her mouth. The mere thought of Al Dukes. Ugh. Oh, my Lord. Now, that being said, I love Al like a brother. He's a good man. He's got a wonderful girlfriend who he's been with for a long time. Ugh. Yuck. Oh, my God. If you gave Boomer truth serum, he'd say a lot of other things. But like, I want Greg back. But it's not about Alex marrying his beautiful daughter. I can tell you that. I'm excited for their big live show, whenever it is. It's April something.
I think it's on
It's on Good Friday,
right?
yeah. It's on Good Friday and Passover Friday.
Yes.
So they're just going for all the heathens out there, all the sacrilegious, Big Bang theorists in Jersey. That's what they're going for. Here's Anthony and Copog. Anthony, what's up, kiddo?
How's it going, guys? Just want to start off by saying, you guys are great, man. I listen to you guys every drive home from work. But I'm a big Mets fan. I'm 21 years old. I've been a Mets fan my whole life.
Nice.
My buddy lives in Bay Ridge. I'm on Long Island. We're really close. And the other day, he called me over to his house. He's getting married. And he said he had a present for me. So he pulls out this baseball and made up this story, how he was in the city, the MLB shop, and they were testing out the new balls for the year. So I pick it up, thinking maybe it's going to be juice, this, that, and the third. I look down. It says, will you be my best man? So I'm like, of course, man, Flip the script. About 20 minutes later, he comes out with 2 pieces of paper with flight information. And I'm like, what's going on here? 2 pieces of paper for Miami, flight to Miami. So I'm like, what's going on? We're 2 huge Met fans. He booked an all-inclusive hotel in Miami on the beach, taking me to opening day in Miami.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
nice.
baby.
Sick, man. I'm super excited.
That is
Nice.
a trip right there,
Hold
man.
on a second. Is it just you and the best man? Is anybody else invited?
Just me and the best man, away from the wife.
You think he wants to, before the wedding?
What?
I told him, I said, listen, man, I'm down for whatever,
Hey, he's taking him to Mets Marlins opening day.
Listen,
Whatever.
Let me just ask you a question. If he comes out of the shower wearing a Tim Tuffle jersey, is it on or no?
Tim Tuffle.
I mean,
He's
you'd have to
21.
ask
Can
me
you
that
make a
question
better
in the
reference?
Say again?
You'd have to ask me that question in the moment.
Well, listen, that sounds like an awesome trip, obviously, and that's a good buddy you got there. Evan's been to, I imagine Evan's been to some opening day road games for the Mets.
I have only been to
Right?
one opening day road game for the Mets.
Was that right?
And it was 2 years ago.
Was it the Phillies one?
It was the one in Philadelphia. Other than that,
When we
it's always
first
the
started
home
the show,
opener.
right?
Yep.
Or our first baseball season.
Our
together,
first
right.
baseball season, yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's
an
the
awesome
first
trip.
time ever, really?
I never
didn't know
done it
that.
before, no.
Huh.
That was the first. And I did it because I felt
So
like
let me
I
ask
was
you a question.
missing
Why
the Mets
don't
home
you
opener.
go down to Florida next Thursday?
I can't. I have a commitment to do this show.
You do the show from there.
How am I supposed to do that?
We'll
the
set
game
you up.
is on while we're on the air.
Oh, that's a problem.
Yeah, it doesn't work out. It's okay. I'll be there the following week for the home opener against the same Marlins.
Why don't
team.
you just take the day off and go to Florida?
I can't do that.
Come back on Friday.
I don't do that.
Or do the show Friday from Florida.
While that sounds really nice and enjoyable, I'm going to save those days for maybe a bigger occasion, if you know what I mean.
No, I don't.
Yeah, like a postseason run. Then I'll be going
You were
on the
just
road.
telling me off air, with all these injuries, the season's a wrap.
I never said that.
Oh, no, it was Tommy. You're
Yeah,
right. My bad.
exactly.
I
It wasn't
apologize.
me.
You're right. I confused the two.
I
of you.
ain't giving up.
Yes,
I watched,
Tommy gave up. I heard him during the bridge show. He's already given up.
I watched the Atlanta Braves win a World Series in 2021 without Ronald Acuna. That happened. That's
Yeah,
a thing.
sure.
I watched the St. Louis Cardinals win a World Series without Adam Wainwright. That's a thing.
That's a thing.
So I'm never going to use an injury or two, and I don't want it to be 3 to give up on a season. They took a big blow losing Edwin Diaz. I can't deny that. And if the Mets lose on opening day due to a blown save in the
that's
ninth
the
inning,
worst case scenario.
there will be panic everywhere, and probably including from myself. I admit that. That's the worst possible scenario. 5-3 lead, bottom of the ninth. Here comes David Robertson, and bing, 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 walk off, see you later. That'd be a disaster, and that would cause major panic amongst my Met
You know,
brethren.
it's funny. You're right. Like, even if they had successful saves the next 10 games, you'd be uneasy every time out.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I know you don't play a lot of golf or at any golf, but if you've ever been invited to play in like a tournament, like it's a celebrity pro-am, there's a lot of people there raising a lot of money. One of the most difficult things, and the only important shot you take the entire round of golf, is your first drive.
Right.
Because everybody is eager to see you hit the ball because you're so-and-so, right? and the first drive is the only drive they remember. If you flub the first drive and play 17 great holes afterwards, you still flub the first drive, and that's all people
Opening
saw.
day would stick with us.
That's
if
exactly
David
right.
Robertson, and I don't mean to put unneeded pressure on him, but if he blows opening day, that's a story we're going to tell our kids
Yes.
30 years from now.
And they can
Fair
go,
or not?
They can go 30 consecutive saves after that. Everybody's going to remember opening day. It's like for me, like as you know, I'm a 2-handicap in golf. So I usually shoot like 72 to 76 around there. But if I flub the opening drive, I could go birdie out the rest of the front 9. Oh, yeah. Carton can golf. See what he did on number 1? There you go.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you a quick story. Nick Bonacani, the late Nick Bonacani, had this amazing charity for spinal cord research, obviously in his son's name, right? So they used to have a golf tournament down in South Jersey every year. So I get invited to play, and I'm typically late for these things. And I show up, and I'm barefoot, and this and that. I'm on the first tee, like, Carton, great, whatever. I'm like, I'll just catch up on the second hole. Like, I'm barefoot, right, which I prefer playing anyway. Like, Craig, like, people want to see you hit the ball, so we'll wait. I'm like, all right, let's just go. So I go up to the first tee, dude. Just like you see these golf tournaments, it drives me crazy. When there's dudes, like, on the left side and the right side of the fairway, and you're supposed to hit the ball straight, but it feels like there's a magnet drawing you left or right. Have you ever seen that? So I get up barefoot, and I'm kind of haggard because I'm running in late, and I tee the ball up, whatever. And I'm like, guys, I'm telling you, why don't we just wait? Let me drop the ball in the fairway, right? Best ball. They go, no, you got to tee off. Evan, it was like this poor woman had a magnet in her knee. And my ball had the opposing magnet. And I got up there.
Yeah.
Phew! Drilled her right
And it was
in the
all
knee.
because you were shoeless and disheveled?
No, I don't know. It was like, you people need to move left.
Oh, yeah. it's their fault.
Everybody move left. And I drilled her right in the
And that's
kneecap.
all people remember from that tournament,
And
right?
I played pretty well the rest of the day, whatever it was, right?
Doesn't matter.
And when we come in afterwards for drinks and the dinner and all that, and like the raising money and the bidding on stuff, like, man, you can't golf. I'm like, I think I shot a 77. Like, yeah, but you drilled that woman in the knee. Like, dude, what's...
Did you go up to that woman and ask her if she's okay?
Of course I did.
Take care of her?
Of course I
All right,
did.
just making sure.
I did. It was weird, though. Like, I gave her money.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I gave her a 5.
A 5?
Yeah, I figured go get a soda.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
That's more insulting than
Yeah.
giving her nothing.
I gave her an autograph. I signed the ball, and I gave her a $5 bill. I'm like, that should cover your expenses.
Yeah, I'm sure she was thrilled.
She was not happy.
No.
I'm like, first off, you have to be some kind of idiot to stand right there with amateurs golfing. Like, if Tiger Woods gets up there, there's no risk at all.
Right.
That he's going to shank one, 20 yards left. Dude, there's random dudes like me up there, like, okay, let's go.
You're putting yourself at risk by standing anywhere near there.
That's what I thought. But that's a true story. That happened.